evening, everyone. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday today. My name is Dijon DaCosta, and I am the Vice Chair of the Board of Education, representative of District 6. Today, we are having a town hall meeting for the status on what is going on in our Stephenson cluster, which is Region 3. Those of you know that I do represent 4 high schools, which is Stephenson High School, Stone Mountain High School, Elizabeth Andrews, and Decker. And we are dedicating this cluster meeting today for the Stephenson clusters that represents the high school, middle school, and all of the feeder schools that associate with Stephenson High. This evening, we have our superintendent, Cheryl Watson Harris, members of her cabinet, along with other DeKalb County staff members. I want to first start off by thanking every single one of you all who took the time out of your day to actually join us to tune in to see what is actually happening in our school district. A special shout out to the Family Engagement Department at the DeKalb County School District for doing a wonderful job. I know the superintendent will be highlighting, or members of the staff will be highlighting some of the fantastic things that has unrolled and been unveiled. And we're gonna go ahead and get started with the sake of time. So the nature of this meeting tonight will be in Q&A format. The staff will be answering the questions from the chat, and also we have generated questions from our constituents of District 6. Now I would like to turn it over to our superintendent, Cheryl Watson Harris, to bring greetings.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair, Mr. DaCosta. Thank you for putting this format together. Thank you for all the ways that you support the school district and the audacious and aspirational vision that you have for all of our scholars. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the opportunity to be in community this evening. We welcome all the families who are taking time out of their busy schedules to be with us. And I just also want to acknowledge and thank all the members of the DeKalb County School District that are on with us this evening. The majority of our senior cabinet members are here because it's important to us that we have a chance to hear from our community, to hear what your hopes and dreams are for our school system, as well as be able to share some highlights. So I'm very much appreciative of the opportunity to be in this smaller setting and to bring greetings and to share any information. Mr. DaCosta, would you like me to go into any of the additional highlights or just hold off until?
Well, yeah, you can go ahead and start off with the highlights, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the questions.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Well, there's so many amazing things that have been happening. We often hear about some of our challenges and the work that we have to do. We all know that we have a lot of work that we have to do, but there's so many amazing things that are happening, pushing us in the right direction towards the vision that we have for the DeKalb County school graduate. And all of our activities are really towards that end, that we have an aspirational vision that our scholars will graduate not only ready to go to college, but to go excel and graduate, or to enter, not just enter a career, but enter a family sustaining career, or a life in the military if they choose, or graduate with all of the skills, know-how, and resources to become an entrepreneur. And to that end, I'll just touch the highlights, and if Mr. DaCosta wants us to go into more detail, we will. And you should know that these are things that you can also find on our website. Our comprehensive master plan, we're deep into that right now. Please look out. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, we will send out information for a town hall to discuss the recommendations. We recently launched our comprehensive recruitment and retention incentive program, supported by our Board of Education, because we know that there's a national shortage with staffing. But with the support of our board, we were able to offer a financial incentive for a loyalty award, is which we call it, for our staff who have returned. We also have a signing stipend for new employees. So if you're on this call and you're looking for employment, please know our new staff members are getting a signing bonus of $2,000. We're also needing custodians and bus drivers. Those are two critical areas. So please pass that word along. As well as we want to do our part to vaccinate more people who would like that as an option. As a district with our board, we did not go the route of mandatory vaccinations, but what we have done is, by encouraging staff members that would like to get the vaccine, we're offering a $1,000 gift or incentive for any staff members that receive the vaccine, as well as information and access to it. We are also, we put together a $150 referral program, as well as a $500 wellness acknowledgement for our staff. We've launched Edulog, and I know you've been talking about that for a long time, Mr. DaCosta, and we finally got that over the finish line, which is basically like the GPS for our buses. So parents don't have to wait forever at a bus stop or wonder where their child is en route. I think the one that you were so excited to announce, yes, and you took some great pictures that day and gave us a lot of publicity, but the launch of the Mobile Learning Hub. We know of the fantastic work that Ms. Coward and her team and our whole community empowerment team are doing at the Family Impact Hub here at the AAIC. But we want to take the show on the road and meet our families exactly where they are. So if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful thing to see. Ms. Coward has had those plans sitting on her desk for a long time. And with the help of our partners from TNTP and a grant that we received last year, we were able to make that a reality. And we hope to have many, many more. Just one or two other things I would just like to lift up is we have our medical advisory committee that we continue to work with. We hosted a community medical advisory town hall just recently. And you should know that that got national attention. Ed Week, which is kind of the publication that follows education stories, you did an interview with us about the partnership and how we have been using working with the medical advisory committee to really inform all the decisions that we are making around our COVID-19 responses. So if you want more information on that, that's on our website. Last year, we hosted a successful Mosaic Summer Learning Program, one of which was the My Brother's Keeper Summer Program. And I know that Mr. DaCosta has been trying to get the word out for us, and we want to continue to let you know we're starting to plan for summer school now. So we want to make sure that we let our families know all of the supports and services that we have available, and that they're able to access that. Lastly, our foundation, we're really excited to be able to launch the DeKalb County School Foundation. We know our children deserve the very best, and that we want to make sure that every dollar, every resource we can secure for them, that we have an infrastructure to be able to do that. So we're really excited about the launch of the foundation. And just moving forward, the entire team is here to talk about all the things that are top of mind. We have an incredible leadership team in DeKalb County School District. I'm fortunate to work side by side with them, and we're all excited to hear whatever else you want to talk about this evening.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Watson-Harris. And yeah, I know some of you all received those bonuses. I've been receiving those. Thank you. So make sure you thank the Board of Education and the entire senior staff and cabinet who has a hand on ensuring that, you know, we can better assist you all in different ways. And as you all know, that in August, the Board of Education had approved a $2.2 billion budget, and 70% of that is going directly to our schools. So those are some things that we should definitely champion about. But I want to talk about that 20% of the finances that's being addressed for the learning loss. Superintendent Watson-Harris, I know nationally throughout this pandemic, we've been dealing with, you know, a lot of learning loss. How is the DeKalb County School District addressing that matter?
Absolutely, and thank you for that very important question, Mr. DaCosta. Our scholars have been negatively impacted by the pandemic, but the gaps in learning, as we know, aren't just a result of the pandemic. For us, there are many school communities or children who have been disproportionately marginalized for generations. And so what we're doing to really hone in on that is to make sure that we know every student well. We want to make sure that we have a mechanism for knowing exactly where every student is academically, socially, and emotionally. So as you know, and Ms. Stepney's on the call as well, we designed a 10-day curriculum for the first 10 days of school. And this really allowed teachers to check in on students to see where they were in terms of just their emotional health, and then also to do diagnostics so that we could identify exactly where each student is. And then we've identified high quality interventions that we will enroll students in, or have been enrolling students to fill in that gap as we accelerate them. What we don't want to do is get caught up in remediation. While we know we have to remediate and add in, fill in some of the gaps of the learning loss, our goal is to also accelerate the students. So we want them to be doing both at the same time. So that's during the school day. We're also working on launching the Saturday program, which will give children additional time. And then, as I mentioned, we're thinking about even additional extensions of learning time throughout the year. So those are some of the things. I know also the board approved the MTSS position, and that's allowing our Horizon schools, and then we're going to slowly scale that up to the rest of the schools, to have a dedicated person that will do exactly that work that I just described, helping all teachers and everyone know exactly where students are and what support they should receive to recover.
Thank you so much for that. Ms. Stacy, do you have anything to add? We good to go, right? Thank you so much, Superintendent Watson Harris, for that valuable information. And, you know, as I mentioned to all of the parents who are watching, have a well responsible relationship with your principal, because everything is going to be trickled down from the superintendent down to the cabinet, regional superintendent, down to our principals that have, you know, the most information on how you can get signed up for those activities and programs, you know, for our scholars. So thank you so much, Watson Harris, from that. I have a next question, which is a hot topic, right? And it's about the COVID-19 protocol. So throughout the nation, you know, the state and also the district, you know, COVID-19, like we mentioned, has disproportionately affected our scholars and our teachers and our staff and everyone. And I have been receiving numerous questions from our constituents, staff, parents, and teachers about the COVID-19 protocol. Superintendent Watson Harris or staff, would you mind sharing with the audience, what is that protocol? What does it look like, and how we implement it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'll start, and then I'm going to toss it to Ms. Stepney, who's on camera and who has been chairing from the very beginning our COVID-19 response team, which has a new title, and she'll share that. But first, I just want to say that the safety of our students and our staff is our number one priority. And that we recognize, while we're educational experts, you might say, we are not medical professionals. And so for us, from the beginning, we have been working in partnership with our medical advisory committee. They have our COVID-19 response protocol, which is posted on our website, has been created in collaboration with the school department, our medical advisory committee, the DeKalb Board of Health, all in alignment with the recommendations from the CDC, and also taking into account what is important for us. So I want families to know that while we want our children in school, we're not doing that in a polyanderish way. We're also holding ourselves accountable, and where we feel we can't be successful and keep everyone safe, we have already demonstrated that we will close schools in that instance. But I'm going to allow Ms. Stepney to kind of go into a little bit more of the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Watson Harris and Vice Chair, Mr. DaCosta. Yes, we have been working with our medical advisory, and it is a team that has helped us through the most difficult times. Originally, when we talked about how are we going to support our families, as we discuss what happens now that we are still in the midst of the pandemic, but we are trying to seek our new normal, meaning offer as much in-person instruction as we can, because we know our studies have shown that we want our students to reconnect, become acclimated with the school again, so they can build those relationships that helps them socially, emotionally, to continue with those bonding opportunities. So that helped us to come up with a decision matrix, if you will, to allow us to look at, is a school operationally functioning? Are they able to carry on the day-to-day operations needed to implement the mitigating strategies to continue educating our students? So there's not one single metric that we are using or one single trigger point. We have to look at it in its entirety. So we are examining the COVID-19 reported cases, the exposure cases, as well as the students' attendance rate, the staff members' attendance rate, looking at, are they absent because they have declared it is an illness? Also, we are looking at, once again, are we able to effectively operate? And so let's just use a class as an example. If in a classroom, the teacher has been identified as a close contact or a positive case, we look to see, can we get a substitute to continue the educational part for the students who are in that classroom? If we're not able to get a substitute or able to provide adequate coverage, it may be necessary to close the class. And so our matrix looks at the classroom, the school, the cluster, the region, and even the district. And so we work hand in hand with the principals. So we thank this whole community who's here today, because communication is key. If you have something you need to report, as Mr. DaCosta mentioned a few minutes ago, it's important to have that working relationship with the schoolhouse. So we are counting on you to report your child is sick today, or your child has a positive notification or an exposure. And then that helps us to do what's right by all of the students in the building. And we challenge you to please keep us informed. But if you see something on the website and you're saying to yourselves, you know, I really want more information about that, then connect with us. We will be happy to get that. We've made sure that the contents of the website can be translated so we can reach all families. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Stacy Stepney and Superintendent Watson Harris. And once again, if there's any other questions that are going to be coming through, we're going to utilize the last minutes of this town hall meeting to address those questions that that are going to be generated in the chat. But let's go to our regional superintendent, Dr. Sean Tart. How you doing today, Dr. Tart?
Greetings, very well, Mr. Board Chair. Glad to be here again. I'm Dr. Tart, our Region 3 Superintendent, and Mr. DaCosta, glad to be here. And let me know where you want me to start.
Well, let's start off with the highlights and things that are happening in your district in the Stephenson cluster.
All right, again, we're excited here in the Stephenson cluster. Our Stephenson cluster is comprised of 1 high school, 1 middle school, and 4 elementary schools, with approximately 541 staff members and about 5,000 students. And right now we're excited to be approaching our 39th day of school, approximately our eighth week of school. And we're glad to say that we have a 99% attendance rate at this particular point, and we look forward to even capturing that 1%, shortly. So again, very excited about that. Again, as we embrace this particular school year, we're very excited about our leaders and the leadership that we have within our buildings. And at this time, I certainly want to take the privilege to acknowledge our principals, Stephenson High School, Mr. Michael Jones, Stephenson Middle School, Dr. Rasheen Booker, Pine Ridge Elementary, Miss Annette Backlund, and right now we have a sub-principal, Dr. Edwina Boggs, who's filling in right now, both doing a very fine job. Rock Chapel Elementary, Mrs. Lisa Green, Princeton Elementary, Dr. Angela Harrison, and of course, our new addition to the Stephenson cluster, Mr. Rodriguez Teal, who has replaced Dr. Faison. And at this time, I would ask that Mr. Teal come on and give a brief introduction and introduce himself to the Stephenson cluster. And then I will conclude with our wonderful highlights. Mr. Teal.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to be in this audience with such a wonderful group of people. My name is Rodriguez Teal, and I'm the newest member of the Stephenson cluster, as Dr. Tart has said. And I am thrilled and excited to be the new principal here at Winbrook Elementary School. I first need to say that I am extremely excited and feel very supported by Dr. Tart, as well as the Winbrook community, as I'm transitioning from North Carolina here to Georgia. And I'm learning how to be a Georgian and learning how to maneuver as a Georgian. And I am having a great time with it. This wonderful staff, the wonderful parents, and the wonderful students that are in the Winbrook community have opened their arms and welcomed me and made me feel so supportive that I'm just really excited about all the work that we're doing here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Till. And Mr. Till just traveled back from North Carolina, where his school just received the National Blue Ribbon Award. So again, we're proud of him and the work that he's accomplished and the work that he's continuing to bring to the family of Winbrook and their contribution to that work. And to that end, all of the schools in the Stephenson cluster in the 18-19 Georgia Milestones year all increased their academic performance anywhere from 2 to 20 points. And we're looking forward to that again this year. Also, all Region 3 high schools, we're proud to say that we have, in addition to our tracks and our fields and fencing upgrades at all of our high schools. And right now, Stephenson High School and Lithonia High School are underway to conclude Region 3. But again, we're excited about that opportunity, being able to level the playing field while at the same time increasing the competitive spirit here within the cluster. With that being said, our Stephenson High School football team is off to a 3-0 start. They're undefeated. So again, I know they're very, very excited about that, as we are as well. At Princeton Elementary, our elementary schools are very excited about parent engagement and just having our parents to be involved. Even as they pick the students up, they're using an app that is called the Curve Smart app, where they're allowed to, track their students coming in and out of the building to make sure that we're safe with COVID protocol. So again, we're excited about that and glad to see our parents. Over at Winbrook, within the first 3 weeks of school, yes, the first 3 weeks of school, the PTA in that community have raised over $20,000. So again, we compliment our PTA board. Some of them are online as we speak, as well as Principal Teal for starting that initiative. So again, we're excited about that as well. Over at Stephenson High School, great things continue to take flight. The business, IT, and finance and marketing programs are industry certified. They've been selected. 2 of the students have been selected for the Posse Scholarship. Congratulations to Jameer White and Anaya Dickerson. And again, also with our football program to cap off, one of the former students who played football at Stephenson is a candidate for an NFL team. And as you know, they conduct observations and interviews with their former leadership principals. And so they had an opportunity to interview Principal Michael Jones about the quality of athletes and just overall great poise and position of our scholars. And they wanted to highlight, Madam Superintendent, how well the program is running over in the Stephenson cluster. So again, that's a testament to the work that's done on the elementary, middle, and high school levels and through the Board of Education. So again, we're very, very excited about that. And we're poised in position to have an even greater opportunity at the end of the school year once we conclude. But thank you so much for the work that's being done, and we look forward to even more. So at this time, I'll turn it back over to our Vice Chair, Mr. DaCosta, at this time.
Thank you so much. And, and I wanted to welcome Mr. Jelks, who is a former student of Stephenson High School, and now he is the head coach. And congratulations to that 3-0 victory. We hope you're gonna bring Dr. Tart and the team a ring, right? So we're waiting on that. But thank you so much, Dr. Tart. Also, do you want to speak anything on the rebrand of Redan Elementary School? So that is in your cluster?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. So the Redan Elementary School is very excited about the rebranding project. We have a lot of volunteers who will be joined in this project of changing the mascot, as well as other components of the school, over to the Raiders. So again, we have several contributors that are contributing money, also their time and value input within the community. So again, they've already begun to transition the colors of the school, the mascot. We've had a very informative community and panel community who have worked to draft that mascot, reset the ideals, and make sure that they are continue to be grounded in greatness as we continue to move forward. So that is currently underway. Again, the bathrooms are done, the tile floor is done, and then we're looking next for the painting and the mascot and the marquee. So we're well on track for that. And so we're excited for that endeavor as we continue to move forward.
Thank you so much for that exciting news, Dr. Tart. And now some more hot topics. I'm gonna address this question, Madam Superintendent, to Richard Boyd, who is the interim chief operating officer. District 6, Region 3, a lot of emails and messages had came about the possible mold in Stephenson Middle School, right? And then also the HVAC system at E.L. Miller. Would you mind speaking to the community about first those two issues, and then what are happening? What are some of the improvements that the district is working on, has worked on, and currently working on that is happening in District 6, Region 3?
Okay. For Stephenson Middle School, there was a report of mold there around some of the ceiling tiles and on other surfaces. We had a vendor come in and remove the ceiling tiles, and then DCSD staff replaced those. We also worked with the local custodians and some other custodians that came in and worked with the vendor, and we wiped down all of the surfaces there. We provided dehumidifiers and air scrubbers in the facility to bring the humidity down. We believe that the issue was there are 4 rooftop units that were malfunctioning. They're called let's see, just a minute, energy recovery units. I'm sorry, I didn't have it highlighted in my notes. We had 4 energy recovery units that were malfunctioning. We've had 2 of those repaired. And we believe with those down, they were allowing too much humidity to come into the building, and that's what led to the mold growth. But we've had 2 of those repaired. We're still working on 2. We're doing daily mold inspections to make sure nothing has come back, and we're going to continue doing that and leave the dehumidifiers in place until those last 2 units are brought back up. The humidity has been going down. It was just over 60%. It's now down around 57% is what Bobby Moncrief relayed to me earlier today, with the ideal being in the mid 50s, around 55% relative humidity. We also have a temporary chiller for the 400 hall, and that will be there until that unit is fixed. For E.L. Miller, we are down to only 1 room that has a spot cooler in it. That issue, or the issue with that unit, is probably going to have to be pulled, the entire unit pulled, brought back to the shop to be repaired, and then taken back and put that back into place. As far as other projects that are ongoing, our SPLOST projects, we have right now, E.L. Miller, Redan, and Rock Chapel are currently in the design phase submittal, with anticipated design completion at the end of this year, and then we would move into procurement for construction. And then Stoneview and Winbrook are in the procurement phase for a general contractor now for an anticipated construction start in the summer of 2022 and completion in the summer. And then one other facilities related project that we have at Stephenson High School, there's been a new marquee sign that has been ordered for it, and it's estimated to be installed by the end of the year, by the end of December.
Thank you so much. I didn't want to cut you off. Was that all of the information?
Yes, that's it.
All right, and I want everyone who's watching, what mostly I appreciate about, the team is that how they work collaboratively together to address these issues and actually get those done. And so we appreciate the emails. We appreciate the concern that you are having. Just know that, the district has, a process that has to take place in order to, move the needle. So I thank you all so much for your patience and your concerns. And thank you so much, Mr. Boyd, Superintendent Watson-Harris, Dr. Tart, for addressing those issues. The next questions is about the CMP updates, if we have any. And I know that we do have a town hall meeting that is coming up that we are encouraging every single one that is a part of District 6 or whoever is watching that are a part of the DeKalb County community to allow your voice to be heard. Your voices are, what moves this district. Your voices are things that has been utilized throughout the district's town hall meetings, throughout the district's Q&As that they've been having, and continue to voice those concerns so that we can, continue to move the district onward and upward, as Superintendent Watson Harrison stated. So if we have any updates on the CMP.
You pretty much just covered it just now.
Did I?
We're starting,
So
we're
stay
starting
tuned.
Monday and Tuesday are our first regional town hall meetings. And I was actually looking for the information on our banner on the website. So I could read off the remainder of those dates, but I don't have those. But yes, certainly feel free to join us on Monday or Tuesday. And then there's going to be one for each region. It should be the same information for each region, just each meeting would be focused on that particular region. I believe that's the format that we've had in the past.
Thank you so much. And what's also important about this CMP update is going to allow the school district to push a referendum, should I say, on November 2nd ballot. And I want you all to be able to, like I said, allow your voices to be heard so that those tax dollars can address some of those issues. And I know the superintendent and the staff will have more coverage on that. I don't want to jump the gun, but more coverage on that, and follow the DeKalb County School District website. I promise you, everything is on that website once you're able to navigate it. And also, as I believe Miss Stacy Stephanie said, that it is translated into multiple different languages for our diverse community to understand the language. So I really appreciate that, and thank you so much to the interpreter today. We want to give a huge shout out. I know one of the things was said, Mr. DeCosta just talked slow, but I'm just super excited, and I hope you are able to translate everything and all this excitement in the different multi languages of the district. So thank you so much for that. All right, so now let's talk to Miss Monica Davis, if you don't mind, Superintendent Watson Harris, because there's some great things that are happening in information instructions and technology. So my first question was, why this new change, and how is this going to affect the DeKalb County School District moving forward?
Okay, it is information and instructional technology. You almost had it. That's okay.
I'm going to get it.
It's a mouthful, but it's a very relevant mouthful for our district and the direction that the district is going in. I've been here for a while, and I asked a couple questions about where we've come in this district with the name of this function, the technology function. And so we started in the late 60s with Dispatch, and that's where the focus was mainly on business enterprise, payroll, and HR. Then we moved into educational information systems, late 80s, early 90s. I was in high school and I was learning how to code. And so they really started bringing in the Apple IIe's and started to slide technology in to support education. Then we moved to management information systems. And this is where we were expanding the educational aspect with a focus on student information systems, student assessment systems, and so on. This was in the 90s to the late 2000s. And then in 2012, we moved to information technology. This was to focus more on the ubiquitous role that technology plays in society as a whole. We're trying to bring all the pieces together, the people, our processes, as well as the technology and how they all work together to support society, but also support education. So you're looking at that holistic view. So now we've just made one small change, and we've added another I, and that I is for instruction. So the purpose of this change is merely to double down and intensify the focus on our work and supporting the reason we are all here, and that's learning. So we are not only responsible for the technology infrastructure support. That's what people typically think of IT as, providing technology infrastructure and support. But we also need to be advocates and nurture a culture of innovation. We need to encourage effective, safe uses of technology. And we also ultimately have to cultivate digitally transformed, empowered learning environments. So that is where we've seen our students have to learn to navigate and learn in, especially with the pandemic, as we had to all go remote and then come back in a hybrid setting. So that's really important for any technology division, especially one that is supporting the K-12 environment. So the reason we added the word instruction was really to just double down and to show our commitment as a school district that that is what this department is going to offer, and that's going to be our focus.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm still trying to get it together. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. But that was some wonderful things that that you had stated about technology as we starting to move into this new day and age, right, of technology. You know, I want you all to know the Cobb County School District has been on top of things before the pandemic and now during the pandemic, and we will continue to be on top of things after the pandemic. So I appreciate your effort and your commitment to the Cobb County School District, Miss Monica Davis. I do have two more questions for you though. Chromebooks distributions has been another hot topic that we all want to talk about. I know we started off with the digital learning platform back a few years ago, and we did the one-on-one, and then as the pandemic started to happen, you know, we started to invest more money into allowing our staff, scholars, and also just employees to have Chromebook distribution. So if you mind talking some more about that.
Sure. Well, I will say, and as we talk about our staff and our students, in February of 2021, the Board of Education approved the purchase of 12,000 new laptops for our staff members to support our hybrid and virtual learning environments. So these devices have been distributed to all of our teachers, paraprofessionals, and other school staff members supporting our students. So these devices have been distributed. In May of 2021, the Board of Education approved the purchase of 25,000 Chromebook devices for our high school students. As you mentioned, we started our journey with one-to-one back in 2017, 2018, which is about 4 years ago. And so with that being the case, you know, some of our devices are starting to show their wear and tear. And so you can only repair a hinge so many times before you need to replace the device. So we purchased 25,000 devices, distributed them to our high school students, and we reallocated the devices that they were using to support our middle and elementary school students. So at this time, Chromebooks have been delivered to all schools. So the schools are empowered to distribute devices to students as requested. The reason we say that is that some students prefer to bring their own devices. And we do have a secure guest network for students who want to bring their own devices and use their own device in school. So we do see that as well. But the devices have been delivered to the schools and are ready for distribution.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Davis. And lastly, some of the questions that I've been receiving was about infrastructure, right? I know that hopefully some of these issues will be addressed in our East Blocks, but some of our infrastructure has been dealing with lack of Wi-Fi or lack of connectivity. How is the district going to moving forward address those connectivity issues in our buildings? So
that is a great question. We actually have several projects that have been approved to move forward to address the connectivity in our school district. One of the things we have to keep in mind is that with the purchase of the devices that we purchased during the pandemic, which was about 20,000, and then with the devices we just recently purchased, so that's 12 plus 25, so you're talking about 20,000, 32,000, and plus 25 is 57,000. My math might be off. I should have had the number right in front of me. But over 50,000 devices is my point that we've added to our network. We brought back to the network and to be able to be used in a network that those devices didn't exist before. So we knew that we had to start to work on our expansion, start working on what modernization of our network looks like, because they're doing different things on the network. So we have several projects in place that we are working on to make sure that we expand where we are assessing our network from end to end, or they say from core to end, and core to edge rather, and looking at all aspects of the network to ensure that we are able to support the devices that our students need, we want, and our teachers need, and our guests that visit our facilities, the devices that they need to use. So yes, those projects are funded and they are in place and they are in progress. So we will see progress ongoing with network connectivity.
Thank you so much about these great news. And if there's any staff or employees of the district, there's this red button, red telephone on your computer called the help desk. Please utilize that red telephone because it goes directly to Mrs. Davis's department, and she has the wonderful technicians to, to address those issues. And they are hiring. I didn't say anything. I'm telling you that they are hiring. All right, so those tech majors, feel free to go onto that front line and, and apply for these wonderful jobs that the district has to offer. So thank you so much, Ms. Davis, for your commitment in the technology field. Thank you so much. And if we have any more questions from the chat, then we'll bring you back to answer those. Thank you again. All right, moving forward, mental health in our schools. I know everyone has been saying, right, because of the pandemic, we have to provide some type of support to our scholars, some type of support to our teachers, because of what is happening right now in the world, right? You all need this support from your school district and your employer, right? So we have Miss Denise Revels, I hope I said that correctly, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing some of the exciting news that the district has been implementing for our mental health services. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice Chair, Mr. DaCosta. So I think I need to start off by letting everyone know that all of the schools have assigned counselors, social workers, and psychologists, because oftentimes some parents and community members don't realize that all the schools have those services there. And so the district employs that team of people really to address those individual needs of our students and families, as well as provide group services to our children and families. And they cover topics such as self-esteem, conflict resolution, grief support, problem solving, teaching emotional regulation skills. And so we do all that in the school with the staff that we have. But of course, that's not enough. And so we have external as well that come alongside and also provide some supportive services to us. We just had a meeting with a external provider with some of the Stephenson cluster members to see how we can begin providing school-based mental health services for the students at Stephenson High School, Stephenson Middle School, and a few of the elementary. So we're working on developing that partnership right now, and then we'll have a therapist come into the school one day a week and provide services to those children, of course, with parental consent, to those children that need to have some more services provided to them. In addition to that, I think when we talk about mental health, we also have to talk about teaching children soft skills, teaching children resiliency skills, interpersonal skills, social interaction type skills. And so all of our staff members are involved in doing that on a daily basis. So it's not just our mental health core team at the schools that are involved in that, but that's all our staff members are teaching children skills of how do you forgive one another? How do you accept one another? How do you move on? How do you repair relationships? And those are life skills that they can take way beyond just the four walls of our school and into their community and into life later on. So we want to make sure we're teaching those type of skills. And then we also want to make that we're providing an area for parents to grow in the area of parenting, financial management, and providing all those kind of wraparound services that we know parents need and appreciate as well. And so once we have that school-based mental health provider, we'll have a wraparound provider that will be able to some of our parents. So the Parent Involvement Center, they're working to get programs up and running. Parents, they've already started some of that for our community, which is a huge success for us. And so we want to continue to support not only the child that's in the building, but also support in the community as well. And I know Michelle Jones is going to talk about the services that for employees, but I know the district, we have EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, and we provide health support to our staff members through that avenue. And some of our school-based mental health providers are also available to provide help and support to our staff members through staff meetings. And so those are just some of the things that we're doing to provide support to our students, to our families, and as well as our staff members.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I know for sure that a lot of these different initiatives and programs, email blast has been going out. And I know staff members, I know you all have been, probably, tired of seeing those emails, but check those emails because there's a lot of great things that are coming forth, in regards to the mental health and services that the district has partnered with other organizations on helping. And I know, Ms. Revels, you mentioned that, is it EAP? Is that what it is?
Right, that's the Employee Assistance Program. And so that's been around forever.
Right.
And now we are making sure that our employees are aware of it, access it, and a long-standing service that the district has provided. And we've also provided individual counseling to students. That's a long-standing service that we've always provided to our children, but due to the pandemic, we had to pivot a little bit and begin providing service for our students. And our psychologists were doing virtual groups with our students in the pandemic. And so as times change, I think we're very flexible and we're able to change with the times. And we've been able to provide that support to our children throughout.
Thank you so much for that. And as she mentioned, and as we all will mention, the collaborative effort on how these different divisions are actually working together, to meet the needs of our parents, meet the needs of our scholars, meet the needs of, all of the employees. And I know the Family Engagement Division is going to talk great about the mobile hub and how they're going to utilize those resources to get the message out to the community. So I thank you so much for your commitment as well to the Cobb County School District and keeping us first and safe. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Now, one of my exciting updates that I really want to talk about, right? And I know you all know what that is, and that is the My Brother's Keeper, My Sister Keeper updates. As Ms. Revels did mention that, there are programs that are going to be used to support our scholars on addressing some of these issues that they're going through. And My Brother's Keeper is one of those programs where they can have those conversations with those selected staff members to provide those mentorships. Because I know everybody had a mentor to get to where you are today. And one of my philosophy is once you change your mindset, everything else around you changes. And I am a proud graduate of the Cobb County School District, and I know firsthand how mentoring had influenced my life to get me here to where I'm sitting at today. So now we have Ms. Moname or Ms. Dr. Towns to talk about what is MBK, what is OSK. I know you all have just launched a few things, right? A few highlights, and how can our scholars get enrolled to this wonderful initiative that the district has been rolling out.
Thank you so much, Mr. DaCosta, for having me here to give you some information regarding My Brother's Keeper. I want to say good evening to all of our staff and parents who are here. And we are just so very excited about My Brother's Keeper. And we've had My Brother's Keeper for several years, but with the great leadership of our superintendent, Mrs. Watson Harris, this opportunity has been expanded. And so we're so excited to have My Brother's Keeper and My Sister's Keeper. In February 2014, President Obama launched My Brother's Keeper to address persistent opportunity gaps that were facing boys and young men of color. And this was to ensure that all youth reach their full potential. And with that being said, Mrs. Watson Harris, our great leader, had a call to action for us to focus on building safe and supportive communities for boys and young men of color where they actually feel valued and they have clear pathways to opportunities. So with the establishment and expansion of My Brother's Keeper, we are so excited to just recently bring in 25 new chapters. So that'll make a total of 50 My Brother's chapters, My Brother's Keeper chapters in DeKalb County School District. And our plan is to roll out My Brother's Keeper chapters within 137 of our schools, all of our schools, by February 2023. So currently, again, our second MBK cohort has been selected, and it includes 25 schools. We are finalizing our MBK curriculum, because what we want you to know is this is not a social group. This is a framework and an initiative and movement to increase the academic literacy of students. And we know that, as Mr. DaCosta said, those students who have mentors in their lives and people who care about them do much better educationally and throughout their lives. And so we're excited that our students have this opportunity. We are also looking at professional development for our champion mentors and mentors who will interact with our young men. Additionally, we are asking our schools to recruit students for the new chapters. And to be very honest with you, there really isn't a criteria. We want all that want to come. We know that My Brother's Keeper is there to ensure that students reach their full potential, and that includes all students, all 100,000 students in DeKalb County School District. In addition to that, we're so grateful that Mrs. Watson Harris and the Board of Education is supporting My Brother's Keeper with funding. So there will be a lot of opportunities and activities that our students will be involved in, and thanks to funding for My Brother's Keeper, that can happen. In addition, My Brother's Keeper is actually nationally and internationally known. And what we want to do in expanding My Brother's Keeper is to bring in the My Brother's Keeper community. And what we do when we bring in My Brother's Keeper community is we're collaborating with other government sectors and other organizations in our DeKalb community to expand MBK and to allow our students to have greater opportunities as it relates to ensuring their success while they're in school and their post-secondary success. So we're very excited about that. I do want to mention that there are several schools in District 6 that currently have My Brother's Keeper chapters, which includes Champion Theme Middle School, Winbrook Elementary School, Rock Chapel Elementary School, Stone Mountain Middle School, Shadow Rock Elementary School, Stone Mountain High School, Eldridge Miller Elementary School, Freedom Middle School, Stone Mill Elementary School, and Stone Mountain Elementary School. Again, the student just needs to want to be a part of MBK, and so they can be. And so we welcome all of our young men and boys of color and all of our young men who are interested in MBK to meet with their counselors, meet with their teachers, and just let them know that that is something that you're interested in, and we certainly would like to have you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague in good deeds, Dr. Constance Stephenson, and she'll give you some information as it relates to My Sister's Keeper. And I do want to thank my co-lead, Maname Malaptip, who's not here today, and thank her for her support as well.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. And let me begin by thanking Dr. Towns and Maname Malaptip for all of the support that they have given throughout the process of launching My Sister's Keeper. We are so excited to get started with these young ladies across the district. Yesterday, we had our initial launch tea, and it was a wonderful event. We had a fabulous speaker who is actually a DeKalb graduate herself, and she poured into the young ladies and all of the viewers who tuned in to watch the event. We hosted a hybrid event. We hosted the event in the boardroom. However, participants were able to, viewers were able to log on and watch from the comfort of their home or their classroom. The students who are participating, each school designated an area for their own My Sister's Keeper launch tea event. And we have pictures where they decorated and the little girls just looked so cute. And it was just a really, really girly moment. And we, we just loved it. But we are really excited about it. We have at this time 23 chapters, and there are a few of our chapters that are still kind of getting going. So we are lending support to them in pulling things together, because we want as many young ladies as possible to be exposed to what My Sister's Keeper has to offer. Because, you know, just as Dr. Towns said, it's not a social group, but it allows for social interactions to support that academic growth. And we just know that there are going to be some fabulous things coming out of My Sister's Keeper. These young ladies are going to soar, and we're going to be there for it.
Thank you so much. And I know we can go on and on and on about this great news, because I know it's still, you know, a lot that is happening with those two organizations or programs, you know, but we forgot to mention the exposure piece, because over the summer, the My Brother's Keeper had the opportunity to be exposed to new things. And I know the ladies will join the fellas pretty soon, though we wasn't invited to your tea party, but it's okay. but thank you all so much for the commitment that you all are pouring to, you know, our scholars. You know, as I stated before, you know, having a mentor a part of your life, especially someone like you all, like with the doctors, and, you know, to be able to reach down to speak the same language and identify those same areas as, you know, the stories that you all had by growing up, to pour into them. I really, really appreciate that. And for those teachers that are watching, I know you all are excited to say, how can I support? How can I support? Reach out to Dr. Towns and Dr. Stephenson. You know, I think in the chat, you all can provide your email. Though they're bombarded with many emails, I know they would be glad to address those. Thank you, Superintendent Watson Harris. I know you and I spoke about this on your coming to the CAB, on how big of an advocate you are with it, and actually seeing the vision and the work actually happen. I'm super excited, and, you know, and putting some money, right? Putting some money where our mouths are to support our future, you know, legends and our, you know, and our scholars. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So now, Watson Harris, I'm gonna address this next question to Chief Gobert, if you don't mind. The next questions that I have is our public safety. I know you will always hear that our number one priority of the Cobb County School District is the safety of our children. And Chief Gobert is a great man. I just want you all to say that he's not only, you know, enforcing, right? He's also pouring in to the school district in many different ways and new coming initiatives. But how are we addressing some of the issues, I'll say, that our schools have been going on? I know we had an issue at Lithonia High School that, you know, that hit the news, and the Cobb County School District was able to, you know, to target and take care of everything that needed to happen, along with different other agencies. So if you could talk more on how is the district, you know, how are we doing when it comes to public safety?
Well, thank you, Board Vice Chair, Mr. DaCosta. I've got a couple of new exciting things that public safety has been doing. First, I want to start with, we entered into a grant with the DeKalb Police in 2019 to get a new command center. It was a technical grant for IT, cameras, and video. And what we were able to do, and I'll give a shout out to Ms. Davis and her IT team, because they were integral in getting this passed. We have a brand new command center with new cameras, with new vision boards, where we can see all the schools at one time. We can view every camera, close up, magnify what's going on in all of our schools. And when we're finished, it got slowed down because of COVID, like everything did. But when we're finished, we will have the ability to give the fiber optic lines running from our command center into the CAB 911 center. And what that means is when there's an emergency in the district, instead of us relaying that information to other responding officers, we literally will be able to hit a button and transmit the camera to their 911 center where they can give the information live to their officers, and we can give it live to our officers, and there's no delay when we're responding to emergencies in the school. That's the first phase. Ultimately, when this is complete, our officers, our school resource officers, and DeKalb Police will have the ability to pull up the camera feed in an emergency on mobile devices where they can actually see live what they're going into in our schools. So shout out to IT for really making that happen, and I'm very excited about our new command center. And what we also have is our new safety campaign. It's called See Something, Say Something. That safety campaign, I'm very excited about it. I know Superintendent Watson Harris is very excited about it. And what this is we are engaging our students, and the officers are making a collaborative effort to make sure that we build that trust with our students and build that bridge of trust and relationships with our students to where they feel comfortable coming to us and taking some responsibility and accountability for their own safety. So what we want them to do is know, if you think something's not right, you can come to us. We want you to report something if it doesn't look right to the teachers, to our campus supervisors who are unarmed security, and to our school police officers, our school resource officers. We're here to support you and make sure you have a safe learning environment. And we want you to know that you can also report it to us. And our number, which is at our precinct 678-676-1810, is manned 24 hours a day. And that information that you call in, it'll get to our police department or to get to the appropriate channels. And that number is manned 24 hours a day, which leads me into thanking Dr. Jones and her HR team, because working with us, HR has allowed us to be able to man that 24 hours with using retired police officers on a sub basis, which means I don't have to actually use an active police officer to do that. And that was a creative thinking of HR, Dr. Jones and her team. So I just want to say thank you for that. And we also, on a prevention level, is we're going in, and this is hot off the presses. It just happened. We've been working on it. We're going to partner with the King Center on nonviolence training. And once this starts, I think, and I'm not speaking out of turn, I think we're going to be the only school police department in the nation that has partnered with the King Center on nonviolence. So what we're going to do is we want to lead from the front. So we want our police officers to be trained in Dr. King's philosophies on nonviolence and conflict resolution, because our officers are trained on conflict resolution and de-escalation, but it's all from a law enforcement and police standpoint. We think we need to go further with this. So we want our police officers to become trainers in Dr. King's philosophy, where we can actually train the students and staff. The first phase is all school police officers are going to get trained in this. And once they are, I've already talked to Ms. Revels. We're going to bring social work into it, because we usually work real good as a team. So the social workers are going to get trained in it. And what we're going to do is train the students and give them the tools they need to resolve conflict without violence. And we're going to do it, and it's called Dr. King's Nonviolence 360 training. It's on the King Center's website. And we're very, very excited about that. Very, very excited about that. And then lastly, I will say, as a part of this building trust with our stakeholders, our community here, all of our school resource officers are equipped with body cameras now. Undertaking that we've been trying to do for a while, but now it's active. Every school police officer in uniform has a body camera while he's at work, and all that data is stored. So now we want to be transparent. I want to make sure that parents and staff members and our stakeholders understand that we're here to help our kids, and we're transparent in everything and open in what we do. And I really have to thank Superintendent Watson Harris for her leadership on being able to get all these things accomplished for public safety. So I'd like to thank her for her support and leadership in public safety. And of course, Mr. DeCosta, you have always been a big advocate, and the rest of the board. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate all the exciting things that we're able to do in public safety right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you know, you left out my dogs too, man. You left out my dogs, man. You know, I love those dogs. But I'll share just a few things. So, you know, in time's sake, but we have amazing dogs that work with our public safety division to help, you know, crack down on those weapons or any drugs that are being found in our school district. And the district is not going to announce, y'all. They not going to announce that they coming out. So, you know, okay, but I'll just keep it like that. But I really appreciate all of what you all are doing. And as you all heard, once again, collaborative effort. They're working together to unify, you know, to this district, building trust together, you know, so that we can continue to move onward and upward. So I definitely appreciate that, and hopefully we'll get some of the updates about the King Center and that collaboration in the near future. So thank you so much for that. So that leaves us, and they're hiring. They are hiring. They are hiring. So go.
Yes, we are.
So definitely go on to our newly integrated platform called Frontline to apply for these positions and receive those incentives that our superintendent had mentioned earlier. So thank you so much for that, Chief Goldberg. Now, while we're talking about employment, right? We have to talk about employment. We know and understand that there has been a lot of shortage around the nation, not just the Cobb County School District, on interrelated teachers, on nurses, on subs and bus drivers and things like that. But our school district is always engaging, you know, the public in all of our social media platform. I see it on Watson Harris's on her social network, and you know, everybody that's on this call just, you know, continue to, you know, spread the net is what they say, right? Spread the net wide and catch all of the, you know, the great attention that we are hiring. So I'm gonna turn it over, Ms. Watson Harris, to Dr. Michelle Jones, who is the interim chief of human resources, to talk about not only the exciting positions that we have, because the board was able to approve several positions, especially also in operations, but most importantly, some of the vacancies that are in District 6 and Region 3, so that we can engage those to get those vacancies filled. So I'll now turn it over to Dr. Michelle Jones. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vice Chair DeCosta. And as you can see, HR touches everyone. So we are pleased to partner with all of the divisions, and definitely grateful for all of the board support and bringing the superintendent's vision to pass. I would like to let you know that in District 6, we have 1,040 teachers, and of those, we have 26 vacancies, 17 regular education and 6 special education. And sometimes we think from a deficit mindset, but from an asset mindset, that's a 97.5% fill rate. So we actually are doing a good job of putting the people in place where they need to be. In District 6, we have a few para vacancies I want to lift up, 15. We also have a few custodian vacancies that were mentioned. We have 10 custodian vacancies, and we also have 5 food service vacancies. And so just want to highlight a few of those critical areas. I have put in the chat the new applicant tracking system. We are no longer using PATS. We are now on Frontline, and I've put it back in the chat again. We are hiring, if you have not heard. And yes, while we do have vacancies, I think it's important to recognize the leadership, particularly in schools, and really the yeoman's job that they are doing in making sure that our students do not miss anything, that no classes are uncovered. They really have pulled together, Vice Chair DaCosta, to make sure that those students have what they need. Dr. Tart and his team have worked to make sure that those Region 3 schools are covered. And I know there's some overlap with District 6 in other regions, but really the effort is there, the collaborative effort is there. I also want to lift up the wellness initiatives, because we have launched a number of wellness initiatives every month. We started the fiscal year 22 with something, even multiple activities every month. And so we are rounding out September. Actually, today, twice, we had 2 sessions today on vaping awareness that was presented by Northside Hospital as a partnership. And we had an excellent turnout at the 10 o'clock and the 1 o'clock session, and a wide range of employees who actually took advantage of that. We offered March Mindfulness in the spring in collaboration with our equity and student empowerment team. We've had biometric screenings. We've had vaccination and testing events. Last week, upcoming, almost every Friday, we are somewhere doing testing for COVID as well as vaccinations. So our mission to have wellness, not just for the community, but our staff and our students, we really have embraced that. And we will continue to move into October. We know many people will be focused on breast cancer awareness. And so we do have some additional things that we have planned for this time period. So I do want you to recognize we have done a lot of work and made some significant changes. The incentive plan, I will leave everyone with. It has been an overwhelming success. The staff have been very complimentary of the board's support and the superintendent's support, and all of the administration who has worked very hard to pull that off. But we do want to make sure that we recruit the best, we develop, and we also retain who we have. So we don't want to lose anyone who is with us. So thank you so much for the opportunity for the Division with Heart, Human Resources.
Thank you so much. And HR definitely has a heart. Well, has something in my heart, right? Whatever it is. But I really appreciate you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, collaboration is what you're going to continuously hear. And check your email, because those wellness emails, it goes out now. So let's definitely take advantage of that, of these opportunities. And as Dr. Jones stated, 97%, right? 97%, and that's in the Stephenson cluster, with only 26 vacancies. So let's go ahead and, everyone share the message about the CAB is hiring and they offer some good money now, and to our highly qualified teachers and staff and those who, are in, the community. So I thank you for that. And due to the sake of time, I wanted to leave, the family engagement. We talked about everything that wraps around our parents and wraps around our scholars, and and family engagement, as everyone has mentioned, has played a vital role into the district, because they are a part of everything. If you had a web of this district, you're going to see family engagement somewhere, a part of that, because one of the goals is to continue to reach out to our parents. We're going to have Ms. Coward talk about the importance of being involved in your child's education, and also some of the great things on why you chose to choose this avenue, Ms. Coward. And then also let's talk about that GED program, if you don't mind, Superintendent Watson Harris. I'm directing that to Mrs. Cowie. I'm just.
Yes, I thought so. Yes, so there's a lot to brag about. So I hope Ms. Cower gets it and does so. Thank you.
So I've been hopping because we're in the middle of our GED program for this evening. We have GED program on Mondays and Wednesdays. And of course, we remove one of the barriers for our families. We allow them to bring school-age children and they do homework, but at this time they get restless. So I'm babysitting and being on the call at the same time because that's important too. Yes, the phenomenal team of family and community empowerment agents in the district have been busy. Of course, Superintendent Watson Harris talked about the launch of the mobile classroom. Let's be clear, there's a lot of learning that's going to be happening on that mobile unit. It's not a plaything. It's not for show. There's a whole lot of good that's coming from that mobile unit. And that is because we know the need of going out and meeting our parents where they are and meeting our students where they are, right? We have been going out in the community and helping our parents log into Infinite Campus, helping them with registration, all of those wonderful things that they don't necessarily have the opportunity to do by coming to the schoolhouse. And so we're excited about that opportunity. We did sneak a peek and went to one of the apartment complexes last week once we launched the mobile hub, and the parents were so excited. One, they saw this space that was coming that they could relate to. And two, the fact that we brought all these resources to their communities and was able to share with them the wonderful things that were going on in our schools and in our school district, and for them to be able on spot to be able to sign up for Infinite Campus. Because again, thank you to Miss Monica Davis. We were out with computers and hotspots out there in the middle of the apartment complex, signing folks up for Infinite Campus. So we're excited about that opportunity. We're also excited about the GED program, as I mentioned before, because we have now gone from supporting 50 students to supporting 500 students. And believe me, they are coming. When I came to work this morning, one of the parents shared with us the fact that she went on the radio because they were giving shout outs to teachers this morning or last week. And she wanted to lift up the teachers who are teaching in the GED program because it's life-changing for her. At 39, whatever happened back when she was going to school, here's an opportunity for her to stop and go back and get her GED so she can help our students. And the stories keep coming because they are excited and they are appreciative of the fact that the district has such an opportunity, because now they can help their students with issues that they're having at home. This Sunday, we'll be going out. Yes, I said Sunday because we work whenever we need to support our communities. For those of you who haven't celebrated our Hispanic Heritage Month, this is our opportunity to go out into Avondale Estates and join our families at La Placita. I hope I got that right, Ann. And to, again, hand out some resources and again, sign them up for Infinite Campus for those who are not getting the information that they need. We're also excited about getting ready to meet our new refugee families. We have been told that there is quite a bit of our Afghan population as well as our Congolese population that are getting ready to come to the district. And we wanted to make sure that we were ready to receive them. So the team has been in training with the International Rescue Committee to really understand the cultures of these families that are coming so we can share it internally with our staff members. So we are really being authentic in welcoming our families to the district. I think that's the short of it, because I could give you a long list if you wanted a long list, but I just encourage those of you on the call that are parents who are in need of anything, please reach out to us because we're here to support you. If we don't have the answers, I can guarantee you that they will find someone who has an answer for you. So our doors are open. We're at the district office. We have the 7 regional centers that are out there as well. call us if you can't come, because there's a lot that we can do over the phone or in a digital form, that it doesn't have to be that we're face to face.
Thank you so much. And I know, like you stated, we have some marvelous things that we can continue to talk on and on and on about. Go check it out, the website, and visit what the marvelous things that, nationally, right, Ms. Marcia, nationally also that the family engagement team is doing. So I commend you all for your hard effort, your hard work, and most importantly, for putting this on, right? Miss Anna Ferreira, you are the true all-star on putting this together and helping us, reach out to our families on this platform. So I want to thank you all for this great opportunity. But before we answer the questions, because I see that there are questions being asked in the group, but the wonderful staff is already responding to them, right? They're already responding to them. But we're going to give Mrs. Winters Benford the opportunity to check those Q&As to see if we have any outstanding questions that needs to be addressed. But before we do that, I do want to give a shout out to the ones that joined. We have Dr. Reaver, Dr. Alexander, we have Oliver Lewis, Mr. Trenton Arnold, Joe Thibodeau, Ms. Dunlap, and Mr. Burbridge. Everyone are here to support Region 3, District 6. Like I said, we are in this together. So I really appreciate every single one of you all who actually has played a role on getting this information out to our constituents and also our school district. And I'll turn it over to you, Ms. Buford, I'm sorry, if we have any outstanding questions in the chat room.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair DaCosta. Like you said, most of these questions have been answered by our wonderful staff, but I wanted to lead off with a compliment that was in the chat that I saw first. It says, you guys are doing so many great things for DeKalb stakeholders, and I want to thank you all. I'm excited to learn more about my brother's keeper and my sister's keeper. So I know that Dr. Towns did put that information in the chat, how she could be contacted. You talked about HVAC systems at various schools. There was one parent that wanted to address the mold or the HVAC system at Champion. And most of the other questions have been answered, a lot about proms and graduations. I believe I saw Dr. Tart putting information in there and referring parents to where they needed to go to find out more about their particular school. So the HVAC system and mold at Champion was one of the outstanding ones.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do with that question, Superintendent Watson Harris, on October the 7th, because that is a part of our Region 4, am I correct? Region 4 town hall meeting, we're going to address all of the issues that is happening in those schools so that we can open the floor to our Stephenson cluster to have, the questions answered. But I know, Ms. Watson Harris, if Mr. Boyd wants to answer the general question on what's going on, that's fine, or we can, push that back over to.
Right. I agree with you, sir, that we can wait for a fuller discussion, but I always get concerned when we hear something about mold. And I do want Mr. Boyd, if you don't mind, just to address quickly how we assess whether or not there is a presence of mold, because that's quite serious. And I just don't want that to be hanging out there. We don't allow any reports of mold to go uninvestigated. And so I just wanted to lift that up. We do have some HVAC issues at that school, and you invited me over. We walked together to really talk about the next steps with that school community. So Mr. Boyd, no need. I just wanted to share that we don't let any report, suspicion, even if it's a wondering about mold, go uninvestigated. Thanks.
So thank you so much for that. And look at that, 7:25. We was able to make it on time and as we scheduled. So I'm just gonna leave you all with the closing remark. I really appreciate the support that you all, and I'm talking directly to the staff right now, that you all have been committed to, the hard work, the sleepless nights, that are not, revealed, because you all have this beautiful smile on there, but you know how to work it out. And I just want to commend you all for, working together as we should, right? To ensure that our children are first, our educators are important, our staff members and everyone, you know, feels welcome and feels supported. To the constituents of District 6 Region 3, you all hear it firsthand, the wonderful things that is happening right now. And feel free to share all of these messages that, you know, that our wonderful staff were able to relate, because we are our first media. We are the ones who are going to paint that picture and tell the stories of our school district. So I just want to appreciate you all for taking the time out. Some of you all are missing your dinner just to be here with us, but thank you for allowing me to share this this platform with our constituents and providing them with the update that is going on. And if you all have any other questions or concerns, feel free to check out the website, have a conversation with your principal, and follow the chain of command, right? Let me say that again, follow the chain of command. Our principals is your number one champion right now, and they will be able to address things firsthand. So I just really want to appreciate the commitment that everyone has put in. And I'm gonna talk until it's 7:30. Take my time, right? But no, I'll just play it. But thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again on October the 7th, when we have our District 6 Region 4 town hall meeting. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you all, and have a great day.